Look, it probably isn't going to happen as of right now, but a Puka Nacua suspension isn't out of the question. There's a lot to unpack here. There's a lot on both sides of this equation, meaning Puka is reportedly filing a countersuit for defamation against the alleged victim. That bodes well for the argument that some of it is being fabricated, potentially. But more has come out today. Puka Nacua is being sued for assault and battery by the accuser that he reportedly bit, and there is evidence which Puka Nacua has admitted to playfully biting and participating in said photo. And so there is evidence that this thing went the way that it went. However, the part about consensual everything along those lines is the part being debated. Now, Puka Nacua has been kind of off the rails lately. And so similar to when we talk about Rashee Rice, and it's hard to trust Rashee Rice with his domestic off the field situation because he doesn't give us a lot of reason to believe him. This is a situation where Puka Nacua might be getting taken advantage of, and he's calling it complete BS. His legal team is calling it complete BS. I do believe that there's probably more of that going on than on the other side of this thing, but we can't be certain because he's not really in the best frame of mind. And it does appear like Puka is going down a weird road. His personality's been changing gradually as the weeks and months have matriculated along. And here we are now discussing whether Puka Nacua is going to be facing any sort of league discipline. I don't know. I know a lot of people want to jump to the conclusion that everything's being fabricated on the accuser's side. And a lot of the time, that is the case. And it sucks to watch these athletes get taken advantage of and then their careers get ruined. Now, Puka is not in a position where his career is going to get ruined, but he's about to ink a big payday and get an extension. So what's this do to that? What's this do to his mental state walking into the season? He's already all over the place, and he's completely a different person than he was 2 years ago. And some of that might be fame and his inability to handle the fame, and he's just becoming kind of a wild man and living life, as people say. Just let him live, Smitty, leave him alone. I'm not leaving it. No one's trying to pick on him. He's putting himself in this position by getting in the spotlight continuously and being kind of a celebrity hog. Like, he's trying to get in the spotlight. He's loving being in the spotlight. He's eating it up. He's live streaming in the locker room when his teammates are telling him not to. And they're not playfully telling him not to. Like, Puka, stop live streaming. They're like, literally, bro, stop live streaming. We're in the locker room having private conversations, walking around in towels, and you're live streaming. I'm not live streaming. And he goes on and live streams and lies to him. Like, he's doing wild things, and people are taking notice. There's a lot of concern here. Whether you want to just be like, oh, Puka's fine, let him live his life or not. You have 15 shares of Puka Nacua, and it's very obvious if that's your stance. A true objective person's going to say, look, I don't think anything's going to be, I don't think they're going to suspend him this year for this situation because it's got to play out. Unless it's a criminal situation where the DA's looking into this and it's a really, really bad situation, which it could be, might not be. It certainly doesn't look like that. There's an incident report taken, but there was no charges filed. Okay, and I don't think they're going back to look at that. This is a lawsuit, and these things play out. If it's not a domestic situation between two people dating necessarily, that this is probably going to play out in court before it's ever the NFL's casting any sort of judgment. This is like the Alvin Kamara situation, the Rashee Rice situation, letting it play out, and then the NFL could or may not take action. I think we're safe in 2026 in regards to this situation as it stands today. If more information comes out tomorrow, then we'll have more information. But I kind of feel like Puka Nacua, reportedly, he is going to file a defamation counter suit against her. That bodes pretty well for his side of the story. Whenever someone does that, they're really, attacking the situation. I don't know. My guess right now, this situation shouldn't necessarily get in the way of 2026, but I do think it opens the door to what more are we going to see? What else is going to happen between now and week 1? What's going to happen between now and week 18? What happens if Matthew Stafford gets banged up for 4 weeks and he's not getting the ball, and Mr. Fame, Mr. I love the spotlight, gets upset that he's not getting the football, and his teammate, he starts, giving up on his team or something. I'm not saying this guy doesn't have the heart of a lion, but he's definitely not in the correct mind state that I believe he was 2 years ago, when he was humble and grateful, and he's rising up, and he's just everybody's favorite person. And now he's kind of just off the rails, and you wonder, headshots, what is it that's causing this? We all have our assumptions, right? Wide receivers taking headshots, personality changes for wide receivers. We see it all the time. You can't put the genie back in the bottle once they start unraveling. Like think about Antonio Brown. Think about any player that started to unravel. They never got raveled back and wound back up. They completely go off the rails. We're going to talk more about that. Also, Mahomes, good news. His progress is looking really, really good. Although I believe was it Rappaport tried to crap on it after. But he's in the facility 7 hours a day working on himself. Like, this guy, I could see it right now. Collinsworth is going to be drooling all over the place in week 1 when Mahomes scrambles for like 25, 30 yards and Collinsworth goes, "Oh my God, can you believe it? It's absolutely amazing. The fantasy football show begins right now."
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
Okay, first of all, we've got, whoops. Unclear as to what that is trying to reference. Or accidentally hit the wrong button. We've got 2 super chats by Hammer, just to start off the live stream. Both of them on Rumble, by the way. Let me screenshot these. And Luis also kickstarted the Rumble show early. I said that the moment somebody dropped a super chat, a wad, on the Rumble wallet through the Rumble tip jar, it has Bitcoin, Ethereum, it's a crypto tip wallet. And the moment somebody drops a 500, we start the Rumble show immediately the next day. Technically, it was like midnight Eastern. So give me 24 hours, essentially, to get ready for that. I was going to try and do it at noon today. I couldn't get it ready in time. Plus, Luis and the boys, we were up till freaking almost the sunrise on the Graveyard Dynasty show. So, Luis, I apologize that we didn't start it within 12 hours, but we will start the Rumble show tomorrow. And it will be multi-streamed on YouTube as well, but it will be Rumble geared. The whole vibe is going to be Rumble. It's going to be very, very geared differently. But you can thank Luis for that, because Luis dropped a 500 wad Tether Gold crypto tip on the Rumble wallet last night on the channel, and Luis to the moon. Okay,
I smell meatloaf.
Absolute fire, my boy, fire. But Hebrew Hammer dropping 120 right now.
It's hammer time.
Yes, as Aldi said, Luis, you're the GOAT, just like Jordan. I may approve that comment. Okay, Hammer dropping 100 and then another 20 on the Rumble. Let's hit these and then we'll get to the Puka Nacua. Not much more to go over, but then the Patrick Mahomes, not much more to go over. And then open phone lines. Very, very early on so far. Oh, let's read this one first. Been saying it for days, still suspension or not. I do not want to run the risk of losing the first round for that season. I'm out. Smitty, let's roll file on in. Very early on so far. What position would you like right now in the draft? Love 3 to 5. So you love the 3 to 5 spots. I love 1 through 5, 1 through 6. Kind of in that exact order. I'm starting to really, really like 3, 4. Because you're a little closer with that second round pick, but getting the back-to-back, picks at 24, 25 is nice too. So I would say usually it's always every year going to be 1, my favorite pick, 2, my second favorite pick, 3, 4, 5, 6. When you get to 6, it could be like 10 and 9 and 8 and then 7. But it usually is picks 1 through 5 almost guaranteed for me. There have been years where I kind of like the 11, 12, but it's very rare. I would say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in that order. 6 probably next, just because there are 5 studs, bro. There are 5 absolute studs, including Puka Nacua right now. But there's risk involved, but not as much 2026 as I alluded to. So, Piranha video. We need a vampire Puka video. we need vampire teeth that Smitty puts in at a certain super chat amount. You know, like whenever someone drops a 15, I don't know what if there's actual amounts you can what the weird amounts are, but if there's like a weird amount you could put, like Smitty's got to put in the Puka teeth and talk for 50 seconds with the Puka teeth in. $50 50-second Puka chat. Just put the teeth in, give fantasy advice with the vampire teeth in for 50 seconds. I think I might do it. Hebrew, thank you for dropping the Dublaze, my boy. 120 watt over on Rumble. What a monster. And Rumble, we're at 7.35K. We're on our way to 10K. The Rumble show starts tomorrow. Probably going to be around 11 a.m. my time, which would be roughly about 2 o'clock Eastern. Could be a little earlier. It could be later. I don't know what time. I'm not sure how we're going to run the Rumble show yet. I just know that it got triggered by Luis. I kind of got to feel it out. You're going to have to give me some leeway. You know, maybe the time is not what we want. I don't know. I'm not sure, but we'll figure it out, and we're going to really crank out the content on the Rumble, and it's going to be phenomenal. 2 super chats over here on the Fantasy Football Show YouTube channel. One from Devo and one from Blake. Let's do a bunk bed style combo standing ovation.
I smell meatloaf.
To consolidate the time. Puka equals Antonio Brown, only time will tell. And that's the thing, is when people say, Devo, because I've said it for 2 years now, that I'm starting to like smell a little Antonio Brown unraveling. And people are like, he's not Antonio Brown, Smitty. What are you talking about, Smitty? How dare you? Antonio Brown's so much more different than this, Smitty. Starting to feel the unraveling. Not saying he's burning his feet off yet. Or he's calling grandma, telling him he got released from the Rams. I'm free. Taking his shirt off and running off the field. That is the end game of the AB unraveling. But at the very beginning, when we started to sense Antonio Brown was a little wild, that's where Puka's starting to feel like he's at. And you can say whatever you want. If you're defending Puka Nacua and saying he's fine, he's just living his life. Let the man live. That is the most common I own Puka Nacua in 75,000 Dynasty leagues takes I've ever heard. Just let him live. He's just having fun. Let him be himself, Smitty. Why are you judging the man for biting someone and leaving an absolute almost tattoo level mark on the woman's body? This is not some sort of horseplay. It was crazy. Like, look, this looks like the moon. It looks like we're looking at a crater on the moon, like a photo. Here, one small step for man. Sorry, that's the Puka Nacua bite graphic. I thought we had the moon landing up. This looks like the moon landing. What are we doing here? He admits to the playful bite. That's not a playful bite. Okay, so defend him all you want. I really don't care. But I do believe, I'm saying it right now, I don't think at this moment he's likely to get suspended this year from this situation. But the situation is a warning sign that other things might be on the horizon. And can you put the genie back in the bottle? You know, I don't think you can. Puka. I don't think you can. So it's going to be like, here's the true test. I said this the other night. The true test, throw the moon emojis up for Puka. One small step for man, one giant bite. We'll create a bunch of memes on this one. But I don't think 2026 will be suspended, but I think that you're probably, I said this the other night, you're probably just going to get this man, you're not going to see him curb his behavior. The true test to see if he has something going on upstairs, you know what I'm talking about, is if he can say, you're right, his agent says calm down, the team says calm down, and he just kind of buttons it all up. Then you know he's really kind of not handling fame right. There's a little less to maybe the mental situation going on. But if the guy can't be contained, like there's no talking to him, that's AB. Imagine going up to AB and saying, AB, putting your hand on his shoulder, you need to calm down. And the first words out of his mouth are something wild, like, Grandma told me. Like, there's no talking to AB. You couldn't talk AB down if you wanted to. If Puka's really going off the rails, there's not going to be much of a change. And not to mention, he went on Aiden Ross, made a fool of himself. And granted, Aiden Ross kind of put him in a bad spot. Okay, I defended Puka a little bit, saying, like, I don't think he knew what he was doing when Aiden Ross made him do this weird dance that supposedly made a pretty offensive, gesture or whatever. And he's like, "Will you do this touchdown dance?" And Puka's like, "Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that touchdown dance." And it's like offensive, I guess. I mean, no one even really knows what he was trying to do. But Aiden Ross put him in a bad spot. And so you'd think a logical person that was being manipulated by Aiden Ross or being, this and that would say, I'm going to cut it out on the podcast and I'm going to just go quiet and play video games for a little while. Like Jeremiah Love said he does. He said, draft me. Did you see Jeremiah Love at the podium? He said, what is the team getting when they get you? He said, not drama. He said, I'm single. I go home. I play video games. I work. I study football. It's all I do. I'm boring. I just go home. That's what you want. Focus and determination. Puka Nacua is probably just going to do more of the same. And that's where you know something's wrong. He can't put the genie back in the bottle. There's no taking him back. Thoughts on AZ backfield disaster. Why? Nathaniel Hackett, Blake. Nathaniel Hackett's the offensive coordinator in Arizona. Maybe he's not calling plays, but he's still there to destroy whatever he can destroy. This is like putting a 2-year-old in a room full of glass jelly bean bottles everywhere, stacked to the rafters, M&M glass bottles to the rafters, Coca-Cola stacked cases, throw the 2-year-old in the room, close the door for a couple hours, and imagine opening up the door 2 hours later. That's Nathaniel Hackett in a running back room, Blake. So I don't want really, but that said, I do like Tyler Algier a little bit there. I do. I think, he's one of those guys that he's annoying no matter what. And now he's in the lead role and he's probably going to be annoying there too in a way that, you avoid him and he just kind of musters up some stats. But my point is Hackett's a disaster. You can't bet the farm on this. But I do really like Tyler Algier from a ADP perspective. On Best Ball Underdog, promo code Smitty, link is in the description. Underdog will match your first deposit 50%. I really do think Algier, you're getting Algier as if you go wide receiver, or actually if you go like running back, wide receiver, quarterback, even wide receiver, you can sometimes get Algier, or instead of that last wide receiver, you could go 3 wide, a running back, a quarterback, and still get Algier as a running back too. Does that make sense? So your team can look something like this on Best Ball Underdog promo code Smitty. Your team can look, oh, Rice, get off the screen, my boy. You could go like Lamar. Let's say Genty. I'm just spitballing here. Genty, Lamar. Let's call this JJ. Let's call this I don't know. Trying to think of a receiver that makes sense for this territory. Let's call this I don't know, wide receiver like I guess you could say Rice. You could say Rice and then you could say Mike Evans, like something like that. You can draft this team and still get an Algier in some cases, depending on your ADP. And that makes him a very good running back too. Very cheap version. So I do like him, Blake, in some context, but good Lord. If we couldn't have got the worst person, this is the guy that held Javonte Williams back in Denver, Nathaniel Hackett. And then when Javonte tore his ACL, then Hackett was like, does anybody want to be the lone back, get all the carries? Javonte did. Javonte was the starter. He barely gave him like 50%. And then when Javonte goes down, he's like, I think I'm going to go to one running back now. One of the worst coaches or offensive coordinators in the league. Nagy in New York and Nathaniel Hackett in Arizona. The difference is in New York, Nagy is calling plays. LaFleur is calling plays in Arizona, so Hackett still can damage things. But New Age Outlaw gifted a membership over on the Rumble. My boy New Age.
You've just been Smitty approved.
Rumble, you're awesome. New Age, you're even more awesome. So I appreciate you. End of the day, my guesstimation is that Puka Nacua does not get suspended for this situation in 2026. As it stands now, I reserve the right to change my mind. If another piece of evidence comes out, anything, then we're going to have to adjust and adapt. But probably not going to be suspended for 2026 for this incident. Could he be suspended in 2027 because of it? Maybe. Depends on how the case goes. But it's more because things are litigated outside of like the criminal aspect here. It's going to be that wait and see approach for the NFL. But this is a warning sign of things to come. If Stafford gets injured, Puka could go off the rails. Puka could go off the rails anyway. There is risk involved if you're drafting in the top. Now, I don't necessarily agree with Hammer's full take on this, but I respect the hell out of Hammer's take of just staying away from him. But for me, I still, right now at least, my top 5 overall, Puka cannot get bumped out of it, but he does fall to number 5. But that's not anything crazy because you have Gibbs as my number 1. Bijan and JSN are kind of tied as that number 2. Jamar Chase is kind of in the mix as well as that guy that could be in the rotation of 2, 3, 4. So it really comes down to these 3 guys rotating. Gibbs kind of my locked in 1. And Puka, capable of being 1, but so much risk at 5. And then tier break, and the Genties and the JJs and the St. Browns of the world are in that next tier. But Puka is still in that tier for me, 2026. That's my final answer for now, at least. But start getting a little concerned about Dynasty. Dynasty, you better sell the man. Dynasty, you got no Stafford. Dynasty, you got headshots and injuries. Dynasty, he said he's retiring before 30 years old. Dynasty, he's going to get worse. Dynasty, if he loses Stafford, he's not getting peppered, and he's probably going to break by not getting production and not being the same guy that he turned into right now, that he feels like he's Superman, and you take that away from him, how's it going to affect him? So Dynasty, he's not even in my top 7 overall. I would trade Puka Nacua in Dynasty now. I would be fine with them in the top 5 for redraft. Is my point well taken? Or are people in here saying you're going to be wrong about Puka Nacua this year, Smitty? Or are you not listening to what I'm saying? Patrick Mahomes in the news, working like a monster, a workout monster, 7 hours a day, 7 days a week. This man is in the facility, rehabbing the ACL. Probably going to be ready for week 1. They brought in Fields just in case. They didn't bring in Fields because they're not expecting him to be ready for week 1. That's not the case. But they brought him in just in case, or if he misses time for any other reason. Patrick Mahomes, in my estimation, will be ready for week 1. It could be close. They won't push it. They certainly will give Fields the nod for a game or 2 if they need to, just to be absolutely certain. But I don't think it's going to come down to 1 or 2 weeks. I think he'll probably be ready. I think this is going to be one of those things where Collinsworth is literally drooling all over the place. And we're watching this game get called. I don't know if Collinsworth will be calling this week 1 game, but they'd be like, I just can't believe this man. He's an absolute sculpture. Look at him. Run. 30-yard run. I just can't believe it. This is up. I mean, can anybody not picture Collinsworth in week 1 when Mahomes breaks off an accidental 20 or 30-yard scamper because there's a wide open lane? And he's like, I know I have an ACL tear recovery, but I'm going to go ahead and take this lane 30 yards downfield, gently out of bounds. Everybody's like, unbelievable. How did Mahomes with an ACL tear, first game back, run for 35 yards? Other news, if there is any at all, let me just see if there is. I think there was something else that I was going to put on screen here. I don't know. That's enough for now. We'll be back on the graveyard stream for even more if there is anything I missed. But let's open the phone lines right now. I don't know if the speaker will need to be launched because I haven't restarted my computer in like a day and a half. And so things start breaking and we'll have to maybe go with the speaker. But the phone lines are open for right now. Let's test it out.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Dial in. Dial in. Dial in.
Through sheer science and intense aerodynamic study, the mullet of Puka Nacua has been reconstructed inside the Fantasy Football Show studios. This systematic balance of hair volume, mixed with both Quantum Atom fiber technology and L'Oreal shampoo and conditioner, creates a floating mechanism to which the world has never seen. Patent pending. To see this prototype in action, see Puka on Sundays as he floats around the field.
We actually have to do the bold predictions and go over that. Although I think we had the winner, Travis. If you call in, if you're here, the bold prediction winner, I think, without even voting on it, was what was the prediction that was the most impressive? I think it was. I'll have to see. I have the image somewhere. We'll go over it. Dial in. If you guys have anything you want to add on this, again, possible suspension. The reason that's even in the title and the graphic, and I don't want to hear anybody say clickbait, it's a possibility. You know, you don't know where this is going. And so you have to start planning for not oversaturating all of your teams with Puka Nacua, even in redraft, in case this thing goes crazy, in case there's something else that comes out. The NFL is definitely hit and miss with this kind of stuff. Heavy hand one moment, not the other moment. There's a lot of people that aren't all that impressed with this biting situation. There's a lot of people that don't care about it. A lot of memes out there. We're even, poking fun at the situation, but there's something wrong with Puka Nacua. Even if it was just him handling fame badly, there's something wrong with him. And maybe it gets worse, maybe it doesn't. But if it gets worse, who's to say it doesn't get worse in the middle of the season? And so possible suspension, I don't think so, but I am not going to rule it out. Travis, you're live. And I don't think I have. Let me turn on the
motion detected at front door.
Let me turn on the speaker. See if we can get things cooking. Okay, you are a go. We can hear you loud and clear, Travis. What do you think happens with Puka? Like, if you had to guess right now, do you think, like, what do you think happens with this situation, and what do you think happens outside of that? Like, maybe there's still some more that comes out, or he goes off the rails in another way. Like, what are the odds that Puka Nacua is affected this year, in your opinion?
Barring something else coming out, like details we don't know about or something, I don't think anything happens. So.
This year, yeah. That's kind of the way I feel, but damn.
Just because, it happened in December and no charges can come at a later date, but I don't know. I think charges probably would have been filed already. It feels like now he's being sued.
Yeah.
Like
it does.
Next step.
It does feel more, I don't want to say cash grab, money grab, but I will, than it does that he's really in the wrong here. But just, he's off his rocker, so it's just a really hard thing to assess, because it's kind of like when Rashi Rice does something. You're like, okay, innocent until proven guilty. Thank God we live in a country where that is the case, no matter what your past or history is. Like, you shouldn't be condemned over something before, you're tried, because you had done something in the past. You still could be innocent in this situation. But the NFL is different. And so someone put up in the chat, I think, something that is completely, or I read it somewhere, I forget, someone's comment somewhere, but it was that if anybody else had this situation happen, they'd be like fired or suspended no matter what. Like the NFL is such a weird organization where everybody acts like, oh, the NFL just plays by their own rules and suspends players for no reason when they're innocent until proven guilty. You let's say you went and did this and you worked for a bank or something. You'd probably be in trouble. You probably would be. You can't, like, this isn't normal, And I don't know. It's funny how everybody will blame the NFL and say the NFL is weird and they allow this and they allow that and they shouldn't, cast judgment on this or that. But Puka admits to all of it. It's just a matter of consent or not. And he's saying she liked, she was into whatever they were doing. And she's saying that she wasn't. And so she said, and given that there were no charges filed and there was an incident report, and given that from my knowledge of what I've looked into, the temporary restraining order was, I believe, not actually created, doesn't bode well for her case because they give those things out erring on the side of caution. So the fact that there's no temporary restraining order actually filed says that they're like, sorry, ma'am, no thanks. And so that's not good. And so now she turns to the litigation part. And because 99% of things like that settle, she's just looking for potentially a payday or money grab. But I think he's probably the kind of guy, I believe, that's going to not do that. He's going to fight her to the end, and she's going to end up owing him money probably. Because, you could get a defamation case against you and you're you could be cooked. So, I don't know. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I mean, I think the defamation case could also be too to just, a little pressure for if it is, a money grab or her upset about something, trying to get back at them. If that's the case, I'm not saying it is, but if that's the case, that's a good way to just tell them, drop it, leave it alone before, and we'll drop it.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see this thing just going away in the middle of the off season or the end of the off season. But will Puka unravel another way?
Or something else,
Mm-hmm. Will Puka unravel in another way, though? I don't know. I mean,
well, yeah, and that's why, like I said last night, that's why and it's probably lower than a lot of people. I have him as my wide receiver 8 in Dynasty because, injury risk and talking about retirement at age of 30. McVay has talked about retirement. Stafford's older and has the back issue. All those things alone makes me go, okay, I'm fine this year. Probably even fine next year, barring something else coming up. But, after a couple of years, I don't know what to expect. Other guys just jump up ahead of him.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see what happens. But I do think that this is a fair assessment, though, putting Puka at the bottom of the guaranteed top 5, just because you got Stafford. The dependency on Stafford is a big concern, and if Stafford can't stay healthy because of the back alone, this puts Puka in a vulnerable spot. But I also feel like this is accounting for the fact that he's off his rocker right now. So 5 for me. 5 for me, but still top 5. I mean, in redraft, I'm not going to oversaturate, take him in every league, but he's still top 5. I don't think you can walk away from top 5. I know some people are feeling different, but I can't yet. Something, I believe this is going to take a little longer. This is like putting something in the microwave for 2 minutes, or like your pizza. If you take a big, thick slice of pizza, like a deep dish Detroit, put it in the microwave. The first 30 seconds doesn't do anything. You can take it out and it's still cold as hell. But you go like a minute and 15, all of a sudden the whole thing starts heating up, starts cooking itself. The heat starts helping. That's the way I feel like Puka Nacua. Like he's literally, this season's going to be like the 30 or 40 seconds in the microwave. It's going to not really do much. The unraveling's starting to happen. It's starting to fester and manifest and pile on. But really 2027 and beyond is where I think we start getting to that minute and 15 seconds in the microwave, and it's going to start boiling over. So that's kind of the way I look at it. Gifted memberships 5 from Romario. Appreciate you. Guys, keep the chat clean. I know one of you got put in timeout for making ridiculous comments, so you're going to get kicked out if you do it again. My moderators aren't going to handle that. And even some of you guys that have been here for a long time, like, keep it clean, please. Phone lines are open. Anybody wants to conversate about Puka Nacua or Patrick Mahomes and his situation? Let me go to Travis on that after I hit the phone line here.
Call into the show. Call into.
For those that don't know, the Rumble show begins tomorrow. I was going to try and get it done today, but it was really only a 12-hour turnaround. I said it would start within 24 hours, so I think, starting tomorrow is acceptable, but I was trying to get it up today. But I had a lot of things I was trying to do at the same time, and we stayed up to like the wee hours. I did not expect a 2.5-hour Dynasty live stream last night, but Luis is a monster, and Luis kept dropping mother freaking wads in the Dynasty chat to extend it. 5 minutes, every $20 is an extender. Luis kept doing it over and over. So we were up kind of late. So you can blame Luis for starting the Rumble channel early, but also delaying it a day. But Luis, you're a monster, my boy. You're a monster, and I appreciate you. Mario, thank you for the super chats. Travis, do you think Patrick Mahomes is going to be ready for week 1?
Feeling that way. I said all along, and I think you've agreed, like, I don't think he'd miss more than a couple of games most. So, seems like he's tracking, doesn't it?
I mean, everything today was a great report on him. That he's in there 7 hours a day. I mean, 7 hours a day dedicated to your knee. There's a chance that in 4.5, I think he's 3 months out from his ACL tear, from his surgery. And there's a chance, I think Javonte was in like 5.5 months. Javonte was running like 20-something miles per hour. And I forget what the time frame was, but Javonte was way ahead of schedule. And then he fell behind, not behind, but he got a little bit, he didn't fall behind. He started having like normal time frames and like hitting normal like roadblocks that you hit on a recovery. Like you have some good weeks and bad weeks. When I went through my ACL recovery, one moment I felt like, oh my God, I'm going to be so amazing next week. And then you go backwards a little bit. It's your body just trying to navigate it. And, but Javonte, I think it was like at 5.5, 6 months, it was really weird how fast he was recovering. But I have a feeling Mahomes, it's 3 months now. I think like within 5.5 to 6 months, we're going to start hearing some crazy updates where we're like, oh my God. Like he looks like he didn't tear, and he's such an athlete.
Like months out.
I mean, he's such an athlete. Imagine the aliens saying, "Put on one of your best athletes on the phone right now." We're like, hold on. Hello, this is Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, I'm one of the best athletes in the world. Yeah. Hold on. Put on one of your best fighters. This is Mike Tyson. Hello? Hello? I'm scary. I'm mean. Hello? And then on top of that, imagine if they're like, send us a photo of your best fighter on Earth. And we send them a Moon Man text message. And it's, what's his name? What's the heavyweight champion of the world? It's totally... Tyson Fury. It's like if I saw Tyson Fury on the street with his shirt. Yeah, Tyson. If I saw Tyson Fury on the street with his shirt off, I don't know that I would be scared to confront him and be like, "Hey, bro, you're in my way. Move over. You're taking up the sidewalk, bro. Don't make me get angry." Tyson Fury, like, what is this? All right, hold on 1 second, Travis. Let me go over to Hammer time. You're live.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think Mahomes is in for a big one. I mean, just Kenneth Walker alone. I mean, that's the first time in how many years he's had like a natural serviceable running back. Also one that he can check down to. And he's not going to be the leading rusher on his team, which is absolutely absurd. And I think also, like, there's that feeling, this is kind of like the last run, whatever, with Kelsey. I mean, I don't think, again, I don't think they're going to win it all, but I mean, there's definitely a feeling in that locker room. But I think he's going to go off, and that Walker pickup, I think, is huge.
Can you imagine if Eli Stowers, where's Eli Stowers projected to go into the draft? The projected pick, let me see. I want to say it second. No, it sounds like second round projected second. Can you imagine if the Chiefs get Stowers? Probably the better avenue for them than to go. And I like both Stowers and Sadiq, but I think Stowers could actually climb right next to or above Sadiq. It just depends on the landing spot. I really like Stowers a lot, and both of them crushed the combine. But can you imagine if the Chiefs get? I'm not saying they don't need other pieces. I get it, but there's lots of other picks, and there's still free agency, and there's still even trades if they want. But KC gets Carnell Tate at 9, and they get Stowers somehow in the second round. Do they have? Oh, they have the 29 pick.
Yeah, they have the 29.
They could take him there.
Yeah, they got the 29 from the right.
I wouldn't hesitate to take him early. Can you imagine if they got Carnell Tate and Stowers and they got Kenneth Walker? This would be the most remarkable offense.
Yeah, they have. Okay, so they have 9, 29, and 40.
40. He could Stowers fall to 40.
And 74.
Jeez, man. KC's gonna do it. They're gonna look ridiculous after the draft. Everyone right now is KC, Mahomes coming back. A novice for somebody that doesn't know ball, be like, KC's gonna do well this year. They're gonna be like, Mahomes, you're coming back from an injury. What are you talking about? You got the 9 and the 29 pick, and Kenneth Walker. Imagine Carnell Tate and Stowers. Imagine it. Concepcion, yeah, him too.
I'll take Ruben Bennett. I want them to take the cornerback at 9 if I was a Chief.
If he's there, they're going to go Caleb Downs potentially at 9.
Yeah, I don't think he'll last that long, but if he's there, they will. Yeah, definitely take. I think the Giants might take him.
Do you guys, real quickly, do you guys know what KC stands for in KC Concepcion? It stands for Kevin Concepcion. So it's KC. So how confusing is it to be like, let me merge Husseini in real quick. Hold on. Husseini, mute yourself real quick. I'll be right with you. How confusing is it to be like KC Concepcion? So it's KC, Kevin, Concepcion. Like, what are we doing? How many times do we got to do it? And it seems fitting. Like, if we're going to make fun of that, Kevin, Concepcion, we're going to make fun of it with the KC in front of it. Like, it does seem inevitable. But KC, go ahead, Hammer, and then I'll go over to Husseini, who's live.
I mean, I know a stretch, but I think there's a possibility at 7 that I think Jeremiah Love going there, that would be massive. Again, it's either the Titans or Washington. I don't think, again, I know a lot of people think the Giants will, but I don't. But if he gets past that, Washington's taking him, and dude, that would be huge.
Yeah, we've said it for a while now that his it used to be 3 and 9 as his ceiling spot to go, Love, and his floor. But once once KC brought on Walker and Algier went to Arizona, it shrunk. So the highest part of the draft where Love will go will be Tennessee at 4. There's probably I think a 50% chance the Giants will take him if he's available, just because this is the way Harbaugh thinks. It's not logical. It doesn't matter what we think. Everybody tries to project the NFL draft based on what they think. You just laugh. You're like, what are you doing? that doesn't. Why do you think logic is playing in? This coach is going to do this because he thinks it's right, and we're always scratching our head during the NFL draft. And it's the Giants are 50% likely. Cleveland, I wouldn't even rule Cleveland out. This is not the running back room that Munkin drafted. So it's not crazy to think that he would say hell with whatever they did. I don't care what they did. I don't want these guys. They did a piss poor job drafting RB. And plus, I don't even think Quinshon Judkins is reliable at all right now. Everyone's acting like he's going to be fine. Washington quietly is kind of a bad secret. loves the idea of Jeremiah Love, but it is the probably best landing spot, I think, period, at this point. I like Tennessee second. I hate the Giants landing spot, although it could prove lucrative for Love, but it destroys Scadaboo. And who knows what it really does. So there's some problematic aspects to it, even if we think the tripod of Dart, Love, and Neighbors is amazing, and you just got to say bye, Scadaboo. Sorry. We'll use you as a change of pace, and it might be fun, but I still think there's too many problematic components of the Giants landing spot. So it is Washington, then Tennessee, and then past that, you're hoping somehow the Vikings get in the mix by trading up. If let's say he gets past 7, and we're like, what in the hell, and no one takes him. Very, very likely that something like that happens, because it happens every year. Something crazy, a player falls. Just the team needs the teams that need him just take a different player. And since there's only so many teams that need him in this top 10, it's one step at a time. Titans just say, oh, well, we like him, but we're taking Carnell Tate. And then Washington's on the clock, and they're like, well, we like our running back room. We're taking, whatever. And all of a sudden, you're like, what? It's just those two teams do two different things that we're on the fence about. And all of a sudden, Love's falling. And then it's like the Vikings are like, let's get up there and grab him at 12. And the Rams would take him at 13 if he fell, I believe. So, regardless of their running back room.
Appreciate it, brother.
Are you out of here? All right.
I'm hanging.
Oh, okay.
Letting you get.
All right. Husseini. Whenever there's Chiefs talk, and I don't try and talk Chiefs all the time. I don't. There's just always something. There's always something that comes up.
The Chiefs brought up the Chiefs draft at the same.
Yeah, the Chiefs get brought up. Husseini's like pulling over on the side of the road.
Whenever Mahomes or Chiefs get brought up, I just feel obligated to call for some reason.
Yeah, let me merge Bruce in real quick. Bruce, mute yourself real quickly. I'll be right with you. Okay, Husseini, go ahead, young man. I hope you got a little sleep last night, being on the live stream so late.
Like 3 and a half hours, but I mean, I was pretty tired all day, but it was worth it because fun. That was a fun night.
Nice. Okay, what can I do for you, bro?
So as far as Puka first, I'm more on like Hammer's side, like the way Hammer thinks. I'm just supporting him. I know that's probably not smart. I just feel like the top 5, 6, whatever, 7, there's other players that can match his performance, like Gibbs, Bijan, even I'm not saying, I mean, even if you go a little further, I'm not saying St. Brown is better than him. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying he's safer. And so I kind of with Hammer, like I'm just going to avoid him.
I can't blame anybody. Give
you just as good value or just as good, production or whatever. And so I'm with Hammer, like I'm just staying away. Then as far as Mahomes, I saw that video and I was wondering if you were going to mention it, and I was kind of waiting, and I figured you would.
He's waiting.
I'm excited, man, and especially with all these picks, I'm excited about what the Chiefs are going to.
Yeah. Tate and Stowers would be a dream come true, bro.
Having this many picks in the first top 40, especially, one of them being in the top 10, that's a game changer. And people, like you said, you've been preaching like you can do what you want. Mahomes is coming back from injury, but acting like he got his head chopped off or something. Like, an ACL for a quarterback is much different than a wide receiver or even a running back or whatever. So I feel like, and knowing Mahomes, he's going to figure it out. He's not the type to like want to just sit on the bench and be like, oh no, he's going to do everything he can to be there by week 3, like at worst. And so I'm very, very, very excited, but also very curious to see how they tackle the draft based off what they feel is important to them in the moment. But if we can get, I'm kind of giving up on Sadiq based off
Stowers will be just fine.
Like, I don't think we're going to get him anymore, but it'd be awesome, but I don't think we will. But if we can get Tate, mind, get, like you said, like Stowers or even like, I don't know, just someone, another skill position, like 40 and then use a 29. Yeah, I think I mean, as a Chiefs fan, I wouldn't hate it even if we get an edge. But for fantasy, I would want hate. But as a fan, though, I don't like to talk too much as a fan, though, because I know like Smitty doesn't want that. So
I don't ever say I don't want that. I just when people talk, yeah, we always do talk just football.
As a fan, yeah, like I want Mansour Delane. That he's so good. That's okay. Yeah, especially with his pro day, he's sharp. And if we don't get him, then I would like an edge because we need. I mean, this is good, but he's not the guy, you know.
I mean, Mansour at 9, and then if there's someone like whether it's a Concepcion or a Boston or someone at 29, I think that'd be good. Or like someone like Stowers. I think they need to get Mahomes another pass catcher, though.
Or even Stowers at 29. Like I know people are gonna say it's early, but the Chiefs are that kind of team that don't care. Like they want their guy, but I mean Stowers' pro day should have vaulted him to 29. I don't know why it isn't. I don't know why these mock draft ADPs are showing him not in the second round. He shouldn't be. Stowers looks fantastic. So if I was the Chiefs, I wouldn't screw around. I'd take him at 29 without a heartbeat.
Yeah,
or in a heartbeat.
Yeah, that's why I'm so curious how they're going to tackle this. Like, are they going to like prioritize the first couple rounds with offense, or are they going to do defense? Are they going to do a mix? And if they do,
who knows?
Take the offense. I don't know. Like I really don't know what Veach is.
No one knows.
Yeah, no one knows. Yeah, I'm just very curious. I just can't wait for this draft and where Love goes. I think I agree with the previous caller, Hammer, when he said, I think me and Hammer agree a lot because with the Puka take, I agree with Love. I think Titans good for us as far as saving us from the potential Giants nightmare. But if I had a choice, I would rather have him on the Commanders with 85.
Commanders is the best spot by far.
Yeah,
that's everyone wants that.
Yeah,
that's no brainer, bro. Titans is good though. Titans is a good second place, spot. And the Vikings are a good third. If he was to go to Minnesota, it'd be pretty good. But Washington is just with a mobile quarterback, and I mean the way they have looked at times at running back, the way they want to look at running back, and the way that JD5 could rely upon him, check down to him. I mean, it'd be ideal. And it's such a good offense. Tennessee could be a good offense. I mean, especially if you think of Tennessee without Love, it's not a good offense. You think about Tennessee with Love, it's a different offense. So, Wandell's okay. Throw Love in there. Now there's 3 dynamic weapons. But like Ward and Wandell and Pollard, I'm not liking the Titans offense at all. Like there's no knock on Wandell, but Wandell needs that Love or that other person to Bowers, for example.
You don't want him as your top.
Yeah. If you didn't have Genty, let's say, and a running back was going to go to the Raiders, you would say, hey, Bowers is there. That's great. You just need something else there. So if Love is there, then I don't mind Wandell, But Wandell alone, and you got Pollard and Tajay Spears and Ward, I'm not as big of a fan of that offense until it gets the upgrade. Now, if you give me Carnell Tate or Jordan Tyson in Tennessee, then all of a sudden I start liking it again because I think that's a dynamic weapon. So Ward will look better. But Washington's unbelievable with Jeremiah Love if that ends up happening. I think they do love Okonkwo enough, and I like him too. He's a big sleeper there. That they're not interested in trying to go early on Sadiq. And honestly, Sadiq probably won't go in the top 10. But trading down or doing anything like that, I don't think they're going to go that route. I think that a Carnell Tate or a Jordan Tyson, Jeremiah Love's a very real possibility for the Commanders at 7, because for them, it's about JD5. For the Titans, it's about Cam Ward. For a lot of these quarterback these teams of quarterbacks that are in, like, look what the Bears did with Loveland last year. They took Loveland because of Caleb. They had to try and develop Caleb. Caleb wasn't in the best position walking into 2025, and they want to continue to surround him with weapons so that there was no excuse. He would be, saturated with weaponry. And so the same thing's going to be the case with JD5 and the Titans if they can figure it out at that top 10 pick there, because there's just such good difference makers there. And if Ward isn't developed, you're in trouble. Like, your job's on the line. You can't, for Dable's sake and for Salah's sake, they have to make sure Ward doesn't fall behind. And Ward is, I wouldn't say he fell behind last year, but he certainly didn't, I think, end the year the way that he could have. And it wasn't all his fault, but if you don't put weapons in front of him, then you can't expect him to, you'll have a CJ Stroud effect, where all of a sudden Stroud's like, in Bryce Young, you don't know what they are. They're question marks. All right, boys. Let me see if there's anything else here. Hammer, you got anything else?
That's it. I appreciate it.
All right, calling at midnight. Rumble show starts tomorrow. Tonight at midnight, we'll do a show, and then we'll do probably a Dynasty stream after that. So 2 more live streams likely tonight, and then 1 Rumble show tomorrow, which will be multi-streamed on YouTube as well. But it'll be geared Rumble. It'll be dedicated to Luis, who dropped the massive wad on Rumble to kickstart the Rumble show early. I was trying to do it today, but I just couldn't get it. It was like a 12-hour time frame to turn it around. But we will have it tomorrow. Right now, the Rumble show, I don't know what it is. I'm not sure if it's going to be the same time. I don't know how many days a week. Right now, we're just saying it's at least 1 a week. But obviously, I'll try to do more each week. And then eventually, when the Rumble channel gets even bigger and bigger and bigger, it's going to command a Monday through Friday type of show. And I don't even know if then it will be like a random, roving type of show. We'll have to see. All right, Hammer, we'll see you tonight. Husseini, any final thoughts?
Nope. Thanks, Freddie.
All right, appreciate you, bro. Thank you, Hammer, for the super chat.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Hammer to the moon. Bruce, I forgot about Bruce. Bruce, you're live.
Hey, Smitty, I got a quick question for you about Puka.
Yep.
Let's say the Rams do draft Ty Simpson, Alabama, because we all know Mendoza's probably going on. Would that help him or hurt him, or you're just like...
Oh, of course it'd help him from, like, the Dynasty drop-off. Like, there's at least something there that might develop, but it's not a lock by any means. I like Ty Simpson a lot. Some say he's better than Mendoza. I don't know that I agree with that. I could, in the right spot, see Ty Simpson being like an equivalent or something, or like it'd be like a Drake May and JD5. Like, who knows how that, or you might take 3 or 4 years to even know which one's better. But Ty Simpson would have to go to like that McVay spot or a really good spot for me to really, really like him, and I think I could. That would be a step in the right direction for trying to plan for, post Stafford and what that means for Puka. Kyler Murray is a thought too, because he's got no tag clause and he's on a 1 year with the Vikings for chump change, but he's getting paid baller money from Arizona, so he's getting that $36 million or $35 million from Arizona, and he's getting the 1 year league minimum, no franchise tag clause contract with the Vikings, and some think that is his tryout, so to speak, for the Rams. So we'll see if that ends up happening, but definitely think no matter what, there's no Stafford replacement. Could Puka still feast pretty good? I think so, like top 5 to 7 wide receiver material, but again, with all the head concerns and what's going on with him, the injury concerns on top of that, like he's still a dynasty concern for me. Even if they kind of replace Stafford decently, I'm still saying that Puka for me is like wide receiver 6 to 10 in dynasty. In redraft, he's a top 5, 6 overall player. But I did move him from 1, 2, 3 down to 5 in my redraft 2026 rankings because of all of the concerns, but not further than 5.
Yeah, so right now the plan is for Stetson Bennett to be the backup, right? They didn't re-sign Jimmy G.
Yeah, you keep hearing about Jimmy G though. Like, do they want him back? I don't know. I hope not. But they do like Bennett, and there's some upside there, but you know, he's also been on the stove for a while. He could be overcooked. I don't know. Hard to say. I like the idea of him.
Him than Jimmy, though. I'd rather Bennett than Jimmy G.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, me too. I heard Dan Orlowski saying that if, he played in the NFL, he did all the other. He said Ty Simpson would be the perfect, okay, Matt, you can play for your final year, see if you can get another ring. And then off to the shadows you go. Boom, Ty Simpson, you're in.
Yeah, and they'd take him at 13 if they were to take him early, and it would make sense. I mean, it's not the first time we've heard the prediction. So Ty Simpson is definitely in. It's not the first time we've heard he's better than Mendoza. We've heard that quite a bit from a lot of different people. Not saying I believe it, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. I mean, Tom Brady was better than everyone in his class, and no one knew it. So who the hell knows? You know, you develop so much more when you get into the league. All right, calling at midnight, bro. Appreciate you. Later. All right, Travis, final thoughts?
Yeah, I just don't really buy that Simpson. I think some people are underestimating Mendoza. I don't know if it's because he's the only first-round quarterback. People are saying, oh, he's overrated. I like him better than I like Ward. What your thoughts are, but he does a lot of stuff really good, and I think just maturity and personality and leadership is going to go a long way. And I don't know. I hear a lot of people talk about, oh, he doesn't have the greatest arm, doesn't have this or that. His arm's plenty strong enough.
Yeah, I like him. He's good in the right spot. He'll be good. I mean, the pick lines up if you want to draft him. I don't want to say a bit early, but he could climb into that valuation area anyway. I mean, you're starting to hear more and more about Ty Simpson.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't do that if I were the Rams.
But
I'd be taking a wide receiver at 13. But either, I think, I don't know, who do you think the best fit is at 13? I think it's either Jason or Omar Cooper.
It's tough to say. I mean, I know a lot of people will say wide receiver doesn't seem good because they'll be like, they got Adams in. But look at Tampa Bay 1 year ago. Taking Emeka Egbuka, everyone's like, doesn't make sense. They've got Godwin, they've got McMillan, they've got Mike Evans. But 1 year later, Buka's the number one wide receiver. So,
yeah.
Yeah. So there's certainly a world where it makes some sense, and they're all in this year, and they're also trying to acquire AJ Brown without necessarily getting rid of Adams, but there might be that needed to happen for them to do both. Like maybe, we don't know. They're not going to tell us, but there's a good assumption that they might have tried to make sure that they got rid of Adams if they did bring in AJ Brown. But I think they probably would still rather have AJ Brown with Adams on board still than not have AJ Brown at all. They backed out reportedly because of the knee concerns. So, I mean, don't think for a second they aren't going to then use that pick for a receiver. But they got a lot of other areas that they could. I don't know. Tough to say. The Rams are in a pretty good spot though. They're flexible with that pick, which is why they could consider Simpson.
Yeah.
Even if they traded down or.
He was big from KC because that helps them secondary, but they could take a lineman if they wanted to. But it gives them the flexibility to go.
Yeah. Lot of flexibility for them, but they could trade down and take Ty Simpson. Depending on where Ty Simpson levels at value-wise, they could trade right to that spot, that area to take him if that's what they're planning. But part of me feels like McVay will take Simpson if he falls into his lap, but he won't go out of his way to use the capital he has now and not use it to win now, because they're clearly trying to win now. Like McVay's trying to win a championship right now. He doesn't give two craps about the future. You know, in his mind, again, Simpson falls, they'll do it. But I don't think they'll necessarily sacrifice a pick that could help them right now, which is why they're trying to get AJ Brown. You know, and they would have been smart to get Mike Evans in a way too. You know, but Evans wanted to go to San Francisco. Like San Francisco was going to get him, and he's going to ball. I'm telling you, there's workout footage of Mike Evans in his backyard, working with the rubber band, like and you know, running with those bands and just working on the hamstrings. And I'm telling you, Mike Evans is going to ball this year. He's going to be one of my most drafted players, and I just think that the value is insane. If he climbs, we'll take it as it comes. But right now, an Underdog promo code Smitty, we might draft tonight. So make sure you hit the link in the description. Underdog will match your first deposit 50% all the way up to $1,000 using code Smitty. So click that link. But on Underdog, Mike Evans's ADP is, drum roll, wide receiver. Good Lord, I got to scroll down far. 56.1, wide receiver 26. And honestly, I you can hate him all you want. You can say he's going to miss. He's going to get hurt. You can say all that. That's baking in your concerns, Steve. You know, you're worried about him missing 4 games, 5 games. He's earning 51. He's earning that, especially in best ball, where you don't have to. You can have other players start for him. You're never having to decide who your starters are. They get shoved into your lineup for you. But Mike Evans, 51 overall, wide receiver 26, bakes in 3 or 4 missed games. And he might not even miss the games. I know the power plant, we're worried about that substation, but damn, he's going to do well from that ADP. You're talking about freaking Adunze, Christian Watson, DJ Moore. I like all these guys. BTJ, Marvin Harrison Jr., Mekhi Lemon, Jordan Tyson. Those are all the wide receivers. I'm not even like skipping one. Cardinal Tate, going straight down. It's Mike Evans and every one of those guys I just read off. Above him, McLaurin, Waddle, Devontae Adams, Jamal Williams. I just think he's going to beat out all those guys. I think he probably should be at 36 overall. That's where I believe he'll return your value easily. I don't even think that's a ceiling, but he should be getting drafted by the populace, the mass populace, at 36 overall, which is the 3-4 turn. But you're getting him at 51 to 55 overall. Fantastic. He's going to have 10 touchdowns. He's going to have 1,000 yards. Even if it was like 1090, 1050, and 13 touchdowns and 95 receptions or whatever the hell he's going to do. He's going to crush 50 overall ADP. This is a guy that could finish as wide receiver 11. You know, like you look at the end of the day, he's 8 or 11 or 12 or 10. And you're getting him as your wide receiver 3. It's just a no-brainer. All right, Travis, we'll see you tonight.
Yep, thanks, buddy. Bye.
We might do a Mike Evans show tonight. I don't know. Just keep hammering down, beating a dead horse on a topic where the ADP's not moving. I got a job to do. I got to sound the alarm, the Mike Evans alarm. I got to sound the alarm and make sure people hear it. Thank you for the super chats. We'll be back tonight at midnight. Thank you, Blake. Thank you, Devo, for the super chats. Thank you, New Age Outlaw, for the gifted membership. Gifted memberships to be having here on the channel. Romario gave 5 on the YouTube channel. Romario, thank you very much. Hammer dropping 2 super chats. New Age dropping the gifted memberships. Hammer with those 2 Rumble rants. Luis with the $500 crypto tip that kicked off the Rumble show that starts tomorrow. Show 1. Show 1 starts tomorrow. Last night, Husseini and multiple other people, by the way. I'm sorry if I'm not naming everybody. Sergio, a few others. dropping $20 super chats to keep the 10-minute live stream last night. Go watch it on the Dynasty channel. Going 2.5 hours. It was unbelievable. I'll see you guys at midnight here on Rumble and the main YouTube channel, and then we'll go live on the Dynasty channel after. Then Rumble show tomorrow. See you all at midnight. Live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Live at midnight Eastern almost every single night. And live whenever big news breaks. See you all later. Appreciate you. Time range for the Rumble exclusive show. I'm not sure. I haven't worked out any of that, bro. It could be 30 minutes, could be 40 minutes, could be an hour. I imagine it'll be, a shorter type of show, not 2-3 hour show. Probably be shoot for an hour. Could be 35 minutes. Could be 30. Could be. I don't know. I don't know what the Rumble show is going to be yet. It's going to kind of invent itself. We got to feel it out. I don't know if it's going to be a rover type show where we don't know what time it is every day. I don't know if it's going to be a set time every day. I don't know when it will be Monday through Friday, but eventually we will want it to be Monday through Friday. See you all at midnight Eastern.